following show is for entertainment purposes only and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of Empire Media LLC, its subsidiaries, affiliates, sponsors, and advertisers.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 139 of Motor City Uncut, presented by the Major Sports Network Detroit. And despite all the negative press cafefe, we're back after taking Memorial Day off. We're here. We're back at it. Thanks for joining me as every week, and each and every week, Adam and Shawn. Getting on the air a little bit late tonight as we're trying some new stuff. You can watch us simultaneously live right now on...
We think you can.
I
know we're on Facebook Live. I don't know if we're on... I'm going to check Periscope and YouTube right now, but I don't know.
We could be. We're supposed to be. We're trying to do it, we're doing it Bill O'Reilly style. We said, fuck it, we're doing it live. So... just without all the sexual assault allegations. Anyway, here we are. Speaking of God damn it, that was a terrible and unplanned segue. Speaking of sexual assault allegations,
no, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say it went along with what we want to go to.
That was not planned. I swear. Right before, kind of this afternoon, was announced that the three still unnamed Michigan State football players, in regards to that January incident of alleged sexual assault, will be charged.
Well, we're on Periscope too.
Oh, hey, all right, woohoo! Woohoo! So we're okay. Now that we know it works,
we're doing all right so far.
All right, cool. This show's off to a great start.
Hey, it's new things, man.
Yeah, we're excited. We're seeing new things that we haven't.
Oh, we're on YouTube.
Woo!
It all works.
Wow.
All using all that freeware and an iPhone 6?
Yeah.
It's mad skill right there.
I'd like to. Can I give a couple of thank yous?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to thank OBS Studio and Restream.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hooray, freeware. On that note, all right.
Where are we right now?
All right, let's get back into this.
Who are you?
We're talking about something serious here, man. I know you haven't been here in a couple weeks.
I know.
You just had to skip for the week before we were off.
Yeah, I know.
It's not that you were out. You skipped. You skipped school.
I skipped school for kids who were in school to help them coach.
To help them coach?
Yeah.
Or help coach.
No, I was helping them coach.
Yeah, despite all that negative press cafefe, Shawn is here. So, all right, Michigan State Spartan football. 3 players have been charged. Their names have still not been released. Also, a 4th set of charges was sought against a now former Michigan State staff member, but the prosecutor did not have enough to go on, so they will not be able to bring charges against this individual. We all know who that is, although it hasn't been officially stated. That former staff member is a recruiting guy, Curtis Blackwell. He did not have his contract actually, fully renewed. He received consecutive 1-month extensions while the investigation was ongoing, and his contract did expire here at the beginning of the month and was not renewed. So, Michigan State's now without their recruiting coordinator, and likely in relation to this incident here. So, also at the same time, in coinciding with this, statement put out by the university that both athletic director Mark Hollis and the board of trustees are fully behind Mark D'Antonio, and that also Mark D'Antonio and every other member of staff besides person who was let go followed university protocol to a T in regards to handling this situation. So the usual line here that we would throw in is this the next Penn State? Is this the next Baylor? I at least can say at this point it doesn't look like it. It looks like the administration and athletic personnel did everything right. What kind of shadow does this? I mean, I can't ask the question. What kind of shadow does this place on the university so far? Because we still don't know who these guys are. Not that that truly matters in the end, but at the same time, we can't talk ramifications for the football program because we don't know who they are. They could be Jim, Bob, and Scooter, and never heard of those guys. And
Jim Bob Scooter.
I was gonna say, wait a second. That's really close.
also entirely unintentional. I was just trying to come up with the most generic names ever. I don't know why I went with Scooter.
I was just like, wow, that's leading to something else now. Wait a
Jim,
second.
Bob, and Joe.
It's funny that that's probably how Jim Bob Cooter got his name.
Poor guy.
I said Cooter, not Scooter.
No, but I mean,
that's not. At the same time, not that this is good or it's never good when criminal charges are being brought, but are we at least happy with how it seems the university handled things?
Well,
I know you, of all people, Adam, have very strong feelings on topics of this nature, considering what 6 months after, let's say, it was dead and gone, you were still sitting there, railing on Penn State.
Oh, I think I'm gonna
Keep going.
I think I'm still gonna rail on Penn State tonight. If you check out the Majors Live, come up next 8 o'clock.
Shameless plug
on TMSNX Radio, the Majors time. Anyways, no, I mean, it's like I said, it's hard to say right now. Because who came out and said that they did everything by the book?
It was in a statement by the university.
Okay, so the university said
the university conducted their own investigation, saying everything was handled according to university policy.
Okay, when I hear third party say as such, then I'll be more satisfied with the situation. However, right now, it's still up in the air. I still want to see what a third party lawyer, whoever, has to say about the investigation as to whether or not I'm going to, exonerate.
The report was conducted by a third-party law firm that was hired by the university to conduct it.
Okay. Well, I mean, that makes me feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah.
I'm not.
At the same time,
but I think you're right, though. I don't think we're running into a situation here that we're seeing with Baylor, who, if
trying to pay for victim silence.
Who if Penn State was done the right way, Baylor would be the next nuked program right now. But it definitely doesn't seem like we're seeing that happen right now with Michigan State.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like the board is fully behind the football staff, and hopefully they can put this behind them and move forward.
Well, I don't know how you feel. How do you feel as a diehard Michigan State fan?
I mean, it's never good that you have to be in this situation to begin with.
No.
Well, how I see it is like a situation like this, you're never going to be able to put it behind you.
I don't know that you can't put it behind you, but at the same time,
you're going to try to have to move on.
You can at least
it's always going to linger there.
Look at it from a couple perspectives. From a recruiting perspective, you can go into kids' living room, and shake their hands with mom and dad and say, you know what, bad eggs. We handled it with honesty, integrity, and dignity. People of that character have no place in our program, and that's why we're here recruiting you. From a legal perspective and a scandal perspective, let's call it, people really can't be upset with you for terribly long if you didn't try to hide anything, you followed the established protocol, and ultimately you're not interfering in the justice process.
No, and I think you nailed it, Dorf. It's and that's been my biggest problem with Penn State is everything that has happened at that school was over the course of decades. This was something that Joe Paterno tried to hide, not for 5 years or 10 years. It looks like he tried to hide what happened at that school for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And it was orchestrated. And it went beyond Joe Paterno. It went all the way up to the president of the university, which we saw this past week. Graham Spanier is going to jail for 2 months. He's going to jail for 2 months. He's going to be on probation after that. or actually he's going to be on house arrest after that. And I think he's going to have some probation time, and he's going to have to pay a fine. Again, call me harsh or whatever. I probably would have given more, considering the circumstances and and what all happened with that and why these individuals covered it up. But I still don't think that it's hard to make that comparison when you're talking Michigan State, though, in this sense, too. Just because we're talking...
At least at this point. And you know what? This all could be a ruse, for lack of a better term. It all could come crumbling down any moment. I mean, this is the first, news update you've had about this incident that happened, 5.5 months ago?
Yeah, it was like in January.
Well, you know what we're not seeing too, Dorf, which we saw with which we're currently seeing with Baylor and in some instances Penn State as well, is we're not seeing victims continue to come out of the woodwork on this.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor, we're continuing to see and hear about victims coming out saying that player A did this to me, and Art Briles was involved and continued to be involved in a cover up with it. We're not hearing the same thing with Penn State, where victims are continuing to come out, and information is continuing to come out about Joe Paterno, how he wanted to cover his ears and shut his eyes and go la 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 la, while Jerry Sandusky was having his own NAMBLA convention in the Penn State showers. It's. I mean, we're not.
How long have you been focus grouping that one?
That just came to mind.
It's pretty good, in a dark humor sort of fashion.
I didn't mean for it.
Yes, you did. You're laughing.
I don't want
it.
You got the shock humor there.
I don't want to play. I don't want to be Kathy Griffin or anything here with that. But
you don't want to get Kathy Griffin. You don't want the Donald calling you out for your reprehensible behavior, saying Barron's losing sleep at night over it.
I didn't fucking buy that either. But I mean, you see where I'm going with this, Dorf.
Yeah.
We're not hearing victims continuing to come out about this. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen eventually, but this has been going on since
January.
Yeah.
January.
So I think Michigan State right now is doing their due diligence to get this taken care of. And as far as the football program goes, people are going to bring up the gymnastics thing, and that's an entirely different story.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking,
I think it's entirely independent of the football program, and yes, it's the same athletic department, but I don't think you can, especially because it's I don't want to sound like I'm making excuse, non-revenue sport, likely unconnected and entirely, probably don't even share the same office building.
I said it a few months ago. I thought the gymnastics program should be nuked as well.
Oh, absolutely.
I think bye gymnastics program. My thoughts.
Fine. It's easy for me to say here, but yeah, I don't think I would fight you on that. You guys have anything else you want to add to this? All right. On a somber note, we're going to do a little more shameless plugging and self-promotion here. I want to tease our new venture into fan funding, Patreon. You've heard everybody else here in the podcast / YouTube / I don't know what you want to call it, blogosphere, shilling their Patreon. And guess what? We got one too. Still, nobody has decided to, partake in funding us, but that's fine.
Just give us your money.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
Give us your shekels.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
We're here digital panhandling here.
I mean, it's not that hard. Just
click the button.
Click the button.
Exactly.
As little as $1 a month. Make sure Adam's kid doesn't starve. Just kidding. That being in mind, you can find that at patreon.com/themajors or just in the search bar, the Major Sports Network. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right, next. Speaking of other things that are broken, the Detroit Tigers rotation. Holy shit. Bullpen's all of a sudden been strong for a month and a half. Lineup scoring enough runs, especially over this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. The rotation went from, they'll probably be all right, to fuck. Very quick. Matt Boyd, option in the minors. Justin Verlander leaving start after 2 innings and 74 pitches.
Who hasn't been good.
Yeah, he hasn't
Who
been
also
good.
hasn't been good either. Groin strain, which is not good for a pitcher. I mean, pretty much anything wrong with you is not good for a pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Is the epitome of the full body exercise where everything must be in tune. Warwick Saupold and Buck Farmer are getting starts this week, guys. Are we screwed? Are we screwed?
No,
Sure seems like we're screwed.
I don't think we're screwed just yet. Just wait, give it another. We're playing the Angels coming up, so
Correct.
I'm not too worried.
Then you get a weekend series in Boston.
Right, that's when I'm gonna start getting a little bit more worried because it's Boston,
It is
LA,
the Mike Troutless Angels, too.
right? So it's gonna be hopefully it's like if you pitch to Pujols, just try to not let him hit the ball.
That's all you. I mean, that's all you have to really worry about in that
Yeah.
lineup. I think Angels are bad.
They are.
Angels are bad.
Mhm.
I'm not too concerned about
I'm
the
not-
Angels. I am concerned though going on the road against
Mhm.
Boston. But I mean, Dorf and I were talking about this a little bit earlier today. I know they set themselves a kind of a deadline for the end of June in order to figure.
Yeah, if they weren't in contention by the end of June,
Yeah,
then it's
and-
time to sell.
Based on how bad this division is, the Tigers could still be 2-3 games under 500.
Yeah, and
only
still
be
win the
3 or
division.
4 out.
and exactly.
They're
I
at 500 right now, and they're only 2.5 games out.
I mean, are the Tigers really going to consider selling
No,
if they're 2 games out?
no,
But a game under 500 or right at 500?
no.
I don't think they can.
They
You
can't.
can't.
No, like you said, how bad this division is, they can still win it and be barely over 500.
And is that? I mean, does that in and of itself kind of suck? Because based on how this team has played, based on how this pitching rotation is, based on what we've seen the majority of this season with the bullpen, I mean, if they do make a little run here and somehow back themselves into the playoffs, is anybody going to be excited about what this team could do if they were to make it at that point?
No, because
I mean, nobody has confidence in Brad Ausmus's ability
no,
to
because
go and manage
how
the
I see it,
playoffs.
how they're playing right now, and because how bad our division is, we say we win the division, we're only up by like 2-3 games anyways, barely above 500. There's no way they're gonna make it past the first round.
You don't know that, though. Remember, it's not about who's the best team in the playoffs.
know.
It's about who's the hottest.
I know,
Yeah.
but
And you know what?
But if you're a 500 team throughout the entire
You
season
have the
and you
star
win a
power to
division,
get
there's
hot.
no hot part right there, whatever.
You have the star power to get hot, though.
you do.
You do have that star. You know, the guy back of these guys' baseball cards is pretty damn good.
But the problem is the pitching.
Mhm.
I understand. Here's a deal that I think the whole Brad Ausmus concern is less. You're looking at the last 2 years at the bullpen. Oh God, it sucks. What is he? You know, he had no good choices. It's easy to criticize him when he's wrong, but now it seems like the back end of games when they're ahead is figured out. They've got defined roles. Guys are settling in despite Alex Wilson getting roughed up yesterday and Justin Wilson giving up a couple runs his last couple outings. They've got it figured out now.
But do they?
I think
I
they
mean,
do.
I mean, this is the same thing that we talk about every
Mhm.
single year. It's they have it figured out. Then they'll go into another stretch where they
Yeah.
lose, 8 out of 10.
And then everybody's like, we should have been trading at the deadline. We should have just sold everything.
I mean, this
this is like the
team
same
the
situation.
team is still the most inconsistent team in one of the most inconsistent teams in baseball.
Well, let's look at the practicality of selling. What is a marketable asset that they have that they can sell?
Justin Upton.
Ian Kinsler,
Yeah.
JD Martinez.
It's not going to be Justin Upton. Dude's got you're not going to be able to get anything for him because he's an opt out at the end of the
Oh,
season.
I bet you they could get some for him if they trade him to a contending team. Yeah, because
a contending team is not going to give you anything that's worth a damn when the guy's got a fucking opt out.
Wait, are we not talking expiring contracts then?
What I'm saying is JD and Ian Kinsler are expiring deals, which also limit their value. Your young controllable pieces, only the one that you have that you should be willing to deal, who's starting to get up in the arbitration scale, is Nick Castellanos. And do you want him to be no longer a part of your organization after this year? Do you have an internal heir apparent that is going to be right there to take the reins over next year if you sell him at the deadline?
Dixon Machado.
Fuck that.
Andrew Romine.
Andrew Romine is what, 32?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know you are. But my point is, you're not going to get another 2015 style Hall.
No, I know you're not. It's just that's my point. Is
I'm not necessarily
But-
saying this for you two sitting right here because I know you guys are smarter than this. But that's not how selling at the trade deadline works every time.
Mhm.
It usually doesn't work out that way. So thinking that you're going to be able to turn a guy in with 1 year left on a deal, like an Ian Kinsler.
Well, that's how I see it for Justin Upton. We already know he's
You're
going
not-
to opt out. No, we already know he's going to opt out. There's
I
no
don't
way
think
he's
he will.
There's no way he's staying here. There's just no way.
Why not?
Because he wants to go. He wants to win.
What has made
Win, and you can see that.
what has made that abundantly clear to you?
You can just tell by the way
How?
he plays. And
I really going to challenge you on this point.
No, I'm saying you can just tell the way he plays. If you watch the game,
What is your key indicator in making you say that? Because I don't.
Okay, I
share
just
your
told you
observation.
how he plays on the field. You can watch the difference of when we signed him 2 years ago or whatever, and compared to now. It's like he just doesn't care. He goes out and
he wants? Look, what is? Baseball players don't play primarily because they like to play baseball.
They play it because it's their job.
They play it because it's their job. If Justin Upton is going to opt out of his contract, it's
only
not because he's gonna, or
wanna go win
if he's gonna
somewhere.
stay, if he's gonna stay in his contract, if he's gonna stay with the Tigers, it's not because he wants to win.
It's going to be his maximum financial.
Yes, he's gonna
financial
do it
ability.
because he's monetarily he's gonna do what's best for him. If that means opting out,
foregoing 4 years and $8 million. Does that make sense?
so whatever the option is out there for him, whether that's opting out or staying with the Tigers,
Going rate would be about 4.90 or 4, and you can gamble it for the extra maybe $2 or $3 million, or you can stay where you have it guaranteed. He's not going anywhere.
You know what? It's the beginning of June. We can't debate this topic right now.
I know we can't.
We can't debate the Justin Upton topic right now. You can't do it.
Yeah, let's get back on track. So, kind of the idea where I wanted to take this is, do the Tigers need to be buyers at the deadline for a rotation arm or two? Internal help isn't on the way. Now, top starting pitching prospect that, is still playing organized baseball because last year's first rounder hasn't even started pitching in, organized activities yet. Bo Burrows did get promoted to Double-A today. He's 20. Keep that in mind. You don't have anything better than like a Buck Farmer that is going to be on the horizon for the next 2 years. You just don't. It's your Double-A rotation is a sinker baller who gives up a hit and a half an inning, Artie Luecki. Miles J, who's a 4A soft toss and righty. Tyler Alexander, who's 22 and is getting shelled. Still has good, still excited about his future, whatever. And your AAA rotation is a bunch of has-beens or never will be's. Help is not on the way. Help is not right around the corner from the inside. So due to the fact that you have this, you really, 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 I know we've said this for several years, this is the last year you can really count on your veterans on long-term deals to be at their peak. Do you then by default have to go buy at the deadline? Is this one?
Yeah, you do. Again, this is
it fucking sucks.
This is the shitty situation that the Tigers are in right now because yes,
And you wouldn't have to if the guys you have performed like they should. Jordan Zimmerman, his start on Saturday was surprising and promising.
just his past few starts he's been doing good. Other than that, he's been awful.
He's been bad. Matt Boyd, turns out the league figured out how to hit him. He's got an ERA of 5.5. He's back to what his career numbers were before this year. Daniel Norris can't make it through the fifth inning. Justin Verlander's hurt and is not doing all that well. Michael Fulmer continues to be a stud, so that's nice.
Yeah, he's pitching amazing, but he's not getting any run support.
So, with that being said, you've got one stud, two veterans who are underperforming, and two youngsters that you can't count on right now. Do you have to go add?
Yeah, you have to.
Again, I don't know. Al Avila is going to have to look at the situation based on what he thinks this team can ultimately do.
And at the same time, I don't think he's on firm ground either.
Well, no, he probably isn't.
He doesn't have that credibility as a general manager to walk into a now seemingly more impatient and poorly guided owner in Chris Ilitch.
Well, the problem is Chris Ilitch doesn't have maybe that forte
Mhm.
to be the owner. Who knows? Maybe Chris Ilitch is the guy that is like, you know what, this is what I want done, and here's the budget to do it.
Fucking figure it out. Yeah, that's all. That's all you can ask from your owners. The only time your owners should be meddling in season is here's an extra cash infusion, and that's it.
And
That's all I want to hear from you in season.
The thing is, we really don't know what the whole issue, what the whole
Right.
thing is with Chris Ilitch
We don't.
right now.
Mhm.
I mean,
It's all speculation.
it was, you know, the Tigers were supposed to be big time, penny savers in the off season. They were supposed to be, who knows? I don't know what to make of this team right now. I didn't know what to make of them in the off season. I really don't know what to make of them right now. Other than that, they're in a situation right now, and it looks like they're going to continue to be in a situation where their hand is going to be forced, and it's a weird one because usually a team's hand is forced to sell. Tigers may not be in that situation. The Tigers may be forced to buy, and
You can't sit pat at the deadline again like
and
that.
especially, and you know what? And they're going to be forced to buy again because of some of the contracts they have on there.
Mhm.
You have to be a buyer if you have Miguel Cabrera on your payroll.
Mhm.
You have to be a buyer if you have Justin Verlander on your payroll.
And a 4-year commitment to it, a 4 more year commitment to a guy like Justin Upton
Yes.
too. Same logic.
Exactly.
You have to buy.
And unless like Dorf, we said it before, if you're serious about selling and rebuilding the team, you have to consider getting rid of Miguel Cabrera.
And Miguel Cabrera and Justin Verlander, and being willing to get rid of them, be willing to take almost nothing.
To take almost nothing, and it has
Mhm.
to be the right situation for them too.
Yeah.
They're not just going to go to any team.
Yeah, they both
Right.
have full no trade clauses,
Yeah.
so you're going to have to trade them to the right places. You're going to have to be willing to trade him to somebody like I doubt Boston's going to take him on at this point, but like a New York Yankees type team where, you know what, he's going to, you're going to have to go play him, 8-9 times a year. And it's going to pain you to see him right out the twilight years of his Hall of Fame career in another team's uniform.
And not only that, Dorf. I mean, it's the Yankees know what type of situation you would be in, so they just be like, look,
and know what you will need to be willing to take for him? Greg Bird and a used, box of batting practice balls.
yeah, exactly. The Yankees would be like, look, we know that Miguel Cabrera doesn't want to go to any other team but this one.
Yeah.
So this is all we're going to be able to. This is all we're going to give you for it. Now Detroit doesn't have to trade Miguel Cabrera.
No,
but
they have no. They don't have to.
No.
You're correct.
But if they're serious about rebuilding the team, Miguel Cabrera, Justin Verlander are at least the two that you have to consider parting with.
Yeah, and absolutely. And you can sell and still not sell off sail down the river next year by trading guys like Ian Kinsler and JD Martinez. You can have Kinsler back next year for cheap.
Mhm.
That's fine. That's dandy. That's great. You don't really have an heir apparent there. You're going to still get about a 3.5 to 4.5 WAR baseball player for $10 million. That's a fucking steal. JD Martinez, if he was going to sign with you, I just have the gut feeling it would have been done already.
And he says he's not going to be.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't want to talk.
He's not going to be
talking.
negotiating during the season, which is
And you don't have the owner with the gravitas to call JD's agent and be like, "Fuck this bullshit. Here's a more than generous above market offer. Fucking call him and let's get this done."
You know what? The thing with JD though is how many times
Can a guy get hurt?
that? But how many times have people been just infatuated with a player like a JD Martinez? Give him a big contract, and he falls flat on his face after that. Doesn't live up to it.
So it's kind of like a Nate Robertson kind of situation where he had the good season. Obviously, he was good in the dugout when they brought all the bubblegum stuff and he got so big, they gave him that stupid contract and then just fell off the face here.
Anybody.
You could even say like Bobby Higginson too.
Yeah. play the same position.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, is JD Martinez is raking right now? But
Yeah.
he is in a contract year.
Yeah, he's going to be putting everything he got in it.
Is JD Martinez going to be the same player next season as he was this year?
Age 30 season.
JD Martinez.
He'll likely be coming off his best year.
JD Martinez isn't going to be getting any better.
No, but at the same time, he's going to have an OPS between 901, and that puts him in very elite company of about 6 other guys in the league.
A reason that you have to buy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you got to go for it now because you ain't going to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to literally back up the Brinks truck and be like, hey, JD, I know this is stupid. We should probably only, even if we're going to continue this relationship, it should be of like the 4-year variety. Here's 7 and $180 million.
And you know what? He would deserve it.
And you know what? I don't think anybody else will have to, but that's the kind of thing you're going to have to do.
And you hardly ever pay a player for what they're going to do for you.
It's what they did before.
It's what they did before.
So you say if the Tigers do go by, who would you like?
I don't think I can name specific guys yet because that's more context dependent on who's falling out of it. And then I can start picking through their rosters and figuring that out. I'm sure that'll be an article for me here in the next month where I do that like I do every year. With that being said, are we looking for the controllable type or the expiring deal? Because you're about what you can expect to add from your minor leagues next year is one outfielder and a couple bullpen arms. Other than that, you don't have anything on the horizon that's ready.
In that case, you're going to have to get the expiring deal. You're going to have to get the option.
What I'm saying is, if you want to go the expiring deal route, I think you've got the one position player in the system that I think will be ready on opening day next year to be prime contributor is Christian Stewart. Outside that, you don't have help coming anywhere.
He's your new right fielder.
He's your new. Well, I think you put him in left, and I think you move Justin Upton back to right. But yeah, he's an everyday corner outfielder for you. You still now you don't have an answer in center. For the love of Christ, Jacoby Jones looks lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like he may never figure it out. So you don't have this. You don't have the answer there. You've got short and third base arguably figured out. Assuming you don't deal Ian Kinsler, you've got second and first figured out. And you know what? I'm not so sold James McCann as a catcher in the big leagues. Can't hit. I'm sorry. And your other 2 guys are on expiring deals. And help is not on the way there either.
Gotta sign Alex Avila to another 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't gonna settle for 1 year at this pace.
I'll give him 2 then.
He might have to do 3. And you know what? That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that.
Well, he's gonna be cheap. Alex Avila's not gonna be coming in here commanding.
Right.
Over.
If you had to give him 3 and 15, would you do it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
$5 million a year.
Yeah. What's your cap? Somebody else offered him 3 and 20. Would you match? Would you exceed?
That would
remember. Okay, so 2 years ago, very equivalent situation, coming off a 1-year wonder after a couple of years of mediocrity, entering age 29 season. Jared Saltalamacchia, 3 and 21 for the Marlins. That was 3 years ago.
But see how I see it. Say if you do the 3 and 15 or 3 and 20, whatever. I don't think Alex Avila is going to be a catcher much longer.
He hasn't provided enough value anywhere else on the diamond to not be a catcher.
This first base DH that he's basically to be replaced.
He's a platoon player, man. He can't hit lefties.
I'm just saying. I'm like, that's the only way that I would feel comfortable with.
He'll be a catcher, and when he's done catching, he'll be done as an MLB player. He's too big of a platoon split and lack of defensive value otherwise to be a value of anything to anybody in any other situation. Now, if he could hit lefties a little bit better, that may be a different case. But
I have a guy out there. I just want to see what your guys' opinion on. Say if we go out and buy it, what about Pittsburgh Pirates starter Ivan Nova? What do you think it would take to get him? Because his contract is small. It's only 3 years, $29 million.
He just signed them.
I know.
in the offseason.
So that's why
I don't want him. I'm
I'm
interested
just-
if Garrett Cole's reportedly available. If we're gonna buy anything off the
Mhm.
Pirates, we're gonna go big. Fuck it, Garrett Cole.
but he has been awful so bad. He's been so bad.
I don't care.
You can take a National League, career National Leaguer, and bring him to the American League.
He's got gas. Gas plays anywhere. Nova is I know he's allergic to walking people, but at
Mhm.
the same time, the entire lack of strikeouts just scares the piss out of me. He's striking out what 5?
Yeah, his strikeout is
I don't look-
4.7
really low,
per night.
yeah.
I start looking in the American League for pitching before I do the National League.
I'm doing Garrett Cole. If
Mhm.
I'm taking anybody off the Pirates, it's Garrett Cole.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Right, that's what I was just saying. I just figured he was a guy that I'd noticed that, obviously I don't think the Pirates are going to do anything. I mean, I know they're only 4
Garrett
games
Cole
out.
really has not been that bad. He's been victimized. He's given up a lot of home runs, but other than that, everything else is good. He's given up a lot of dingers. So we'll get into specifics later. We've got more to cover here before we get off the air tonight. So moving on. You guys saw TJ Lang's comments when he was asked about Ndamukong Suh?
Mm-hmm.
The nut job.
Psychopath.
And a psychopath.
He's right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right. Why would the...
Yeah. Do you have any problem with a guy who hasn't played a game for you yet talking in this fashion at all?
Absolutely not.
No.
TJ
Doesn't rub you the wrong way at all?
See,
No.
it would be different if him talking trash like this if it wasn't true, but this is true facts. So that's what it doesn't bother me at all.
Does he get extra credibility and leeway? A, because he's been in your division forever. B, he's a local kid.
Yes.
C, he played for Eastern Michigan.
Yes. And D, what Sean said, what he's saying is absolutely true.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. I'm like,
does it
he's
concern
speaking
you
the
at all
truth.
that this could be just an absolute shitstorm of a signing? He's coming off double hip surgery, getting up there in age. Take him out of a system where he's been incredibly successful with a team that turns out, players of his athletic ability.
See, another thing too is like, he to me,
does it concern you that it'll come back to bite?
No.
Come back to bite him at all? Because
no.
Sue's not on the schedule, obviously.
No.
But at the same time, like,
I could care less what he said.
are you giving a team and other teams potentially bulletin board material here for no reason?
With the Dolphins?
I'm not saying the Dolphins specifically. But if he's going to comment about this, he's going to comment about anything. And do you really want a right guard giving another team bulletin board material?
No, you know what? He's got help on the line.
Yeah. We have a pretty solid offensive line for once.
Offensive line is pretty solid for the Lions.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. And he hasn't said anything about anybody else.
Right. No, he's just talking about Sue. And obviously he's faced him a lot. And then Sue was here and we had the situation with Sue. So
I'm not saying that the sentiment I'm echoing is necessarily what I agree with. It's one of those that I don't very much to the utilitarian perspective. What do we stand to gain from talking about, him talking about this? What do the Lions stand to gain?
There's nothing to gain. I don't even, to be honest, everybody has the right to talk about whatever they want, but obviously it's not starting anything, it's not causing anything. So
I don't
it's
know that it's not starting something. Though.
Look, if he continues to talk, that we'll cross that bridge.
That's what I'm worried about.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
But this is like the first time he's done anything, and it's nothing even really crazy. But he's just speaking the truth. He's basically speaking
He's not quite Joe Thomas running Twitter polls about random shit.
Right, exactly.
And was he asked this question about Ndamukong Suh?
He was on, I forget where he was.
So then he's just answering a question.
He was actually in an interview on like a Barstool Sports live broadcast about him.
So then he's just asking a question that he was asked, So it's like, to me, it's like, okay, you want the honest truth, let's do this.
Fair enough. That's all. It's just, that was my concern with it. That's why.
What's your real thought on it instead of playing devil's advocate?
Yeah.
It's more that utility. What do we stand to gain here? Nothing. What TJ can this can't really help you. This doesn't. You don't have a problem with fans liking you. You're not a hated free agent signing. You don't need to appeal to them. Maybe he's
trying to get his local friend family.
You don't
on
need
his side.
to though.
I know.
People have been clamoring to get him in the Motor City for fucking years. you don't stand to gain anything. You only stand to lose. Now, it's unlikely that you'll lose. But you don't get anything out of this, so don't say it. I don't think it's very, smart.
So you're saying it's not
tactfully.
mature enough?
It's not maturity. I just question the tactics of it. That's all.
That's all.
That's all.
That's all. I think you could summarize that's all. A lot of the takes that we've had here tonight. Finally, this is a topic we've punted down the road for the last month. We're gonna do it finally because the NHL season's almost over and it's almost expansion draft time.
Is it in 2 weeks?
I don't remember the exact date. Isn't it like 10 days after the end of the regular season or something like that? Or 10 days after the end of the
I
season?
want to say June 17th.
June 17th?
So
12 days?
Father's Day.
Father's Day. Who are we silently rooting for that the Las Vegas, are they still going to be the Golden Knights, or are they going to get in trouble somehow and have to change their name?
I think they're still the Golden Knights.
They're still the Golden Knights for now, because who's suing over that?
No, I thought they weren't the Golden Knights because
their trademark protection didn't get granted. That's what it was.
I haven't heard anything about them changing anything.
Okay, so Golden Knights. Who are we silently rooting for? Which contract are you hoping to God that is taken by the Los Angeles
Besides Jonathan
Ericsson?
Ericsson?
No. Jonathan Ericsson is... Why besides Jonathan Ericsson?
Because I thought he'd be the obvious one.
So he's your obvious one. So the only mandatory protected player that the Detroit Red Wings have is Franz Nielsen.
I've got a couple of them though.
Okay, well, only one for now, and then so save some for other people.
All right.
The only person that they have to protect is Franz Nielsen. Anybody? Sean, out of that.
Sean doesn't know.
Yeah, I'm the worst guy to come when it comes to hockey. Unless you want to go talk about how to play the game, I'm not.
He doesn't even know how to play the game.
I do too. I know how to play the game.
No, he doesn't.
You use that big round orange ball, right?
No, Sean, this is not shooty hoops.
Dang it! Dang it!
That in mind.
What did Ted Cruz call it? The basketball goal?
Basketball ring.
Yeah, basketball ring.
Well, look up there at that basketball ring. Oh, Ted. You're trying to sports ball so hard. Oh, Tedward.
Did you call him Tedward?
Yes, I did. Oh, Tedward Cruz. Oh, man. Anyway, so Sean doesn't know. And Jonathan Ericsson is yours. You know who mine is?
I know. Can I take a guess?
Sure.
Justin Applicator.
Damn it. How'd you know?
Because that was going to be my other one.
Oh. No, Justin Applicator is my lead for that. I'm sorry, a guy who's a 10 to 12 goal scorer a year, who's 30, and his best value is grit. In my mind, is not an effective allocation of resources to pay that guy $4.25 million. So,
I mean, my big three is Justin Applicator, Darren Helm, and Jonathan Ericsson.
Well, goddamn, I add Nicholas Cronwell to that list, and you got mine.
Nicholas Cronwell too.
That's my list.
Yeah, they take Nicholas Cronwell too. I mean, other than that, I mean, there's other guys on there that I think could still serve a purpose.
I mean, other highlights. I mean, do you not protect the Gus Bus or Henrik Zetterberg?
Henrik Zetterberg was their best player last year.
I know. Yeah.
Best player, captain.
Tatar.
I can see reasoning from both sides. Thomas Tatar came on late last year. I still have a lot of hope for Thomas Tatar, actually. Especially
he did have a very good closing month.
Especially,
very
especially as all these younger guys too. You hope, and I assume, will continue to develop, like an NSCU, Anthony Mantha.
I've got another one at our list.
Who's that?
The utter retardation of Ken Holland's fourth liner on a 4-year extension.
Luke Glendening. Please, yes.
Well,
yes.
I know it will only give me like a $1.8 million in salary cap relief, but for the love of God, please. He's 5'8", and his only redeeming qualities is slightly above average at faceoffs.
Okay, Glendening, Applicator, Jonathan Ericsson.
But they can only take one.
Hey.
Take them all for free.
Hey, yeah, yeah. Well, you got to pay their contract, otherwise it's no bueno. But
so using the cap friendly cap tool, and you got.
I love how websites keep on stepping up too. when one of them goes away, another one comes into the
Yeah.
picture. So, when Cap Geek left, General Fanager came in. When
General Fanager got
left-
hired by the Golden Knights to run their front,
Yeah.
being part of their front office.
What's the new one now?
Cap Friendly.
Cap Friendly. Yep. So, yeah, those would be the guys that I would hope. Either one of those guys, I'd be happy with. Even though.
So who Cap Friendly suggests that they protect? So the rules are you can do this 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie, or 8 skaters and 1 goalie.
They're keeping Mrazek.
Yeah.
You know that, due to money.
Is it Peter Mrazek? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, damn it, you stole the topic there at the end. Their recommended protections are Zetterberg. Mandatory is Nielsen, Nyquist, Abdelkader, Mantha, Athanasiou, and Tatar. You do not have to protect Dylan Larkin. He doesn't have enough games played to be eligible, so you don't have to worry about protecting him. Green, DeKaiser, Kronwall, and Mrazek. Exempt from this is Johan Franzen because of the perpetual injury, and so is that Joe Vitale, who they took on as part of the Datsuk debt swap. Other than that, some other guys who played a little bit at this season. Robbie Russo's not eligible. Let's see, anybody else? Tyler Bertuzzi, and that's pretty much everybody you've ever heard of.
I think that's probably what they're going to end up going with too. In all honesty,
if out of the guys who aren't protected, do you want to protect any of the 3 following guys? Jensen, Sproul, or Ouellette? They're all eligible to get grabbed.
I'd protect either one of those guys over Kronwall.
I really want to keep Xavier Ouellette protected.
Okay.
Because if I'm the Golden Knights, fuck yeah, I'll take him.
Okay, swap him out with Kronwall.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Any interest in protecting a guy like, I got no one in the forward ranks that I would keep over who I've got protected there, so never mind.
Who's going unprotected?
Helm, Shahan.
Bye.
Glendening.
Bye.
Drew Miller.
Bye. Well, he's a free agent this offseason, isn't he?
Yep. Free agent, no, that's it.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
The Red Wings are actually, I don't want to say they're in good shape, but I don't think they have a whole lot to worry about when it comes to the expansion draft.
So the only other really debate left to have is Howard and Mrazek.
Ultimately, I don't think either of them gets taken.
I think Peter Mrazek has the higher likeliness to be taken if left exposed. But if you're going to take a 33-year-old goalie with a $5.3 million cap hit, there are other 30-plus-year-old goalies with smaller cap hits that are better than Jimmy Howard available that will be exposed.
I think they'll end up going into next season with the same 2 goaltenders. I think they'll end up going into next year with Jimmy Howard and Peter Mrazek. I would take Peter Mrazek over Jimmy Howard, for the most part, just because of the price tag. But
it's $9 million in goalies. $9.3 million in goalies.
I know. They
it's a lot of money.
They need to trade Jimmy Howard. They need to trade him. However, you need to look. The market for a goaltender is very, very slim sometimes.
Especially one with what? How many years does he have left on that? 2 more seasons.
You know what? I'm not contract-wise for another team. It's not
17,
bad.
18, and 18, 19.
No, it's a perfect contract for a team to take on.
Mm-hmm.
He's
a perfect contract for a team that's on the cusp of contending.
Look, he's a good starter.
Yeah.
I've always liked Jimmy Howard. I always thought he kind of got a raw deal here, but every starting goaltender
at the same time he was replacing a guy that had won you a couple cups.
And Osgood.
Yeah,
but Osgood never got a fair deal here either.
At the same time, he can laugh all the way to the bank. His name's
absolutely.
on the Stanley Cup 3 times?
Hey, I will make the argument all day long that Osgood should be in the Hall of Fame.
You won't hear me disagree on that.
But it's just the nature of the beast when you're talking Detroit Red Wing goaltenders. They always get a raw deal. Whether we're talking Osgood, whether we're talking Mike Vernon.
But the only one who you could argue didn't get a raw deal was Dominic Hasek. In the last 20 years?
He kind of did. When you...
At the same time, you had him at the end.
Look, at one point, too, the Red Wings had a mess of a goaltending situation when they had Curtis Joseph, Manny Legacy, and Dominic Hasek all on the roster. I believe their payroll when it came to goaltenders at one point was more than the entire payroll of the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, so and that was pre-cap
era where that was allowable.
But again, I mean they should probably deal Jimmy Howard, get a young defenseman in here, and free up more money.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do.
So, who are we rooting for? Who, if your wet hockey expansion draft dreams came true, who are you rooting for that will no longer be a member of the Detroit Red Wings at the end of the expansion draft? Who are you hoping for? Who's your number one candidate for that position? Who are you hoping is gone?
I mean, I'd love to say Luke Glendening. I'd love to say Darren Helm, but they don't make nearly as much. It's got to lie between. It's a tie between Jonathan Ericsson and
Justin Applegate. I think I'm going to sit on the fence right there with you, and I'm going to agree with you on that statement.
I mean, maybe more so. Well, probably Jonathan Ericsson more so, I guess.
Yeah, because at the same time, if you lose Ericsson, that means you're likely starting 6 on the blue line next year is going to be Green, DeKaiser, Cronwall, Jensen, Sproul, and Ouellette.
Yeah.
I think I'd be okay with that.
And I think if they lose Abelkader, who knows? We could see more of Darren Helm and Luke Glendening, which is I'd rather see Justin Abelkader out on the ice rather than either one of those two.
Yeah, at the same, but Abelkader frees you up for more money.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, I think we're going to move on to the final segment of the night, the cut room floor. Speaking of hockey, the Grand Rapids Griffins are up 2-0 in the Calder Cup Finals. Not surprising considering their average player is 4 years older than their competition. The guys leading the charge are like 29 and 30 years old.
Hey, man. Whatever.
You don't hate the player, hate the game, but at the same time, like, help is not on the way. Don't think this is indicative of future success for the organization. Tigers are on their longest winning streak of the season at 4 games.
Reminds me of Rookie of the Year.
That reminds me of his Major League. We win today, we win tomorrow. That's 2 in a row. That's what they call a winning streak.
The Cubs' longest winning streak of the year. 2.
With that being said, nice weekend. Bats woke up, pounded a division rival.
It was a must. It was seriously a must-win sweep. It was a must.
And you know what? You got 2 pretty good starts out of your, and then you still won despite Justin Verlander only lasting 2 innings in walk-off fashion. So, and also, like I mentioned previously, Bo Burrows promoted to AA. So, all right, that is going to wrap up episode 139 of Motor City Uncut. Tune in next week, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We promise we'll be closer to on time this next time. So for Shawn, Adam, I am Dorf. We'll see you guys next week. And don't forget to follow us on Patreon. Give us all your monies. Thank you. Have a good night. Tune in next week, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We promise we'll be closer to on time next time. So for Shawn,